I wish to make this video. I wasn't going to make another one. It's too much to put together in the condition I've been kept in and what's still being done to me. So it sounds scattered, but then I'm lucky to be alive, and I don't have help to make speeches or write anything. I'm just living. I want to say this. I put all about my kidnapping and all that, being given the name of a twin. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in '39 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and I'll say that. And this is the woman where I was put. She killed her twins, and she was unwed, and that family covered it up. And this is me. I'm going to show you. It was a pigsty, and there was a glossed-over picture there. But this is me. This is my sons, Mark and Scott. Heirs after me. This is my dad, Edward VIII, who was illegally forced out by his own brother, George the illegal Sixth. He's meeting with Roosevelt in Hyde Park, the White House there. 39 when I was born, planning my kidnapping. Roosevelt appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England. JFK and his older brother used to fly into the embassy and stay there during the time I was kidnapped, and that's when JFK wrote While England Slept. By the way, JFK Jr., while I was exiled to the Appalachian Trail here near Roanoke, freezing and starving, and I'm leaving out, you can't put it, I had antifreeze put in me April Fool Day of '80 after writing the medical malpractice book about mind control and murders that were done in patterns. I had a letter again from the FBI, June the 23rd of '79. JFK Jr., yes, it was him. It was before they built that new portion of the trail up from Mountain Pass to Footheart Knob here at Troutville. I actually lived up there. It's so cold, cold, and without equipment or food. But anyway, I'd spent at least 1 or 2 winters up there, and it was spring, and here comes JFK Jr., and his friend that he ran around with. And they had backpacks on them. This is the old trail just before they finished the new one anyway, up there. And he came up and I said, "You look like John Kennedy." And he said, "Well, I am." Well, I thought somebody just fooling me and sent up a lookalike. Well, it wasn't. He said it was JFK. John, JFK's son. And he said to me, "I just wanted to come up and see how you're living." So he knew who I am and everything. Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II. He ran George magazine. Like this whole bit, overthrow of the British and everything and taking over America. George Washington. By the way, what are the chances in all this that they supposedly just uncovered all this stuff with Paul Revere and Adams and all this up in Boston? But won't get it on this one either. And if it sounds scattered, I can't help it. These are the mind control, just a part of the list. How many have been committed and they weren't done in patterns, so you'd never know how many deaths occurred because of mind control. But the thing is, they can program armies now easily, and I don't know how long that's been done. And look where Edward Snowden ended up for trying to tell the truth. He's in Russia now. So I was trying to tell about the parody that, and yesterday that was the shootings happened near Paris, and the magazine was a satire magazine on politics, etc. So they used drawings, most cartoons, I believe, most of the time. When I was flown out to Larry Flint's, he was shot, and nobody says anything about that. Supposedly the guys like James Holmes just runs up and shoot him, and he's a nutcase. Well, that's not true. He was programmed to shoot Mr. Flint and kill his attorney. So here you got the editor and owner of Hustler, and he's paralyzed. He can't move. He was taken to Lawrenceville Hospital, and this whole thing gets to be one horrific mess if the Americans are ever force-fed it and the media is forced to tell the truth. They don't think that it's newsworthy. What they've done to me, I'm a monarch, Victoria II, legal heir to the British Crown, and the crimes committed against me, and then writing about mind control, murders, and linking them, and actually being here in Roanoke when the Virginia Tech murders happened, April the 16th of '07. By the way, this man was a psychiatrist. He's on death row, the Fort Hood shooter. He finished college at Blacksburg here, Virginia Tech, and he was born here in Roanoke, Vinton. That's just part of the patterns. These murders, mind control murders, and by the way, Scott Peterson was one, and I think he had a very good attorney. I think, like some of the other good ones, Lynn Wood, John Bonet Ramsey, and, Eric Rudolph was programmed. So the Richard Jewell, you remember that. You can go back. Anyway, Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville was near where they brought me. So all these people have broken the law systematically. I'm not talking about assault with attempt to murder. You name it, they've done it. Not one person. John Kennedy helped kidnap me, helped do the mess that was going on. While they're talking about Selma, Alabama, I was in Huntsville, Alabama. You should see what was being done to me about that time. And I'm a monarch. Evidently nobody cares. That's just an April Fool joke. So here's Larry Flint, and I guess the thing I'm trying to make is the parody and the satire. There's so much, and it should be, of what's going on near Paris now, the shootings. But the synchronicity and all of it and the timing, yesterday was January the 7th, and that's a specific date. It was the day I was born, or the day that they gave me when they kidnapped me and brought me to Alabama and changed my name. And Wallace Simpson, that married the double, not my dad, she married a double, died, and the double did there in, I believe, Paris. And by the way, they're both buried as imposters and killers and should have been tried. Instead, they lived a life of luxury, and they're buried at Frogmore near on the grounds there at Windsor Castle. So anyway, this is going on, and I haven't made the point. Oh, me. Well, let me just say this. Larry Flint, when I was out there during the campaign in '83 in October, he showed me the galley proofs of the parody on Jerry Falwell, Liberty University here in Lynchburg. I ended up living, if you call it living here, that's where I am now in nearby Roanoke. And Mr. Flint was in court here versus Falwell, and he was responsible for the freedom of speech and went before, I'd have to go back and look at all that, I guess Google it to remember. But anyway, he wore a diaper during paying off the fine, an American flag, and all kinds of crap was said about him. He spent time in prison. I don't exactly know. He was sent to Butner. There was so much done to him, and being done to me too. And I'm a monarch, and it's shocking. That's the reason they don't want it told. I won't say this about the media. The local, the national media has always known about me. I found out about my kidnapping, my parents, the mind control murders, and the more it goes on, the more they want to cover it up. And it's okay to do all this to the monarch, and it's an April Fool joke. Antifreeze in me. You have no idea, and don't want to, what was done to my children that are heirs after me. But it's the part of this that Larry Flint went to bat, the parody and the connection to yesterday's shootings. because I have to wonder not just the birth date and